series of, and I'm doing my second playthrough, so it's more. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I go to
I don't know if they have done these little blue things that are clear to have.
Something was coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director.
That? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here. Things have quieted down outside. It's time to go.
I forgot how intense this part was.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it. You... Thank you. That was... horror.
Okay, so... man. Jesse Faden arrives at the oldest house, the headquarters of the Federal Bureau of Control, to look for answers to the mysteries of her childhood. Guided into the building by the janitor Ati, Jesse finds Zachariah Shanks, the director of the Bureau, shot dead. She picks up the pistol next to the body and is translocated to the astral plane. The strange board encourages her to find the gun, an object of power called the service weapon. She succeeds, and the board informs her that she is now director. Basically, you're just a big kahuna in this place now. At this point of the game, kind of taking over things. I got plans. Oh. Guess not yet. Plans level 1.
The hotline. Secure line of communication. Guidance. Reach the hotline.
The hotline, says the dead man. Okay.
The hotline. So I guess that's how I'll talk to that rich girl. by a headshot. I think auto-saves immediately inside. Alright, for Marshall's eyes only, Marshall, we checked out the suspected AWE and Duelist. Wasn't anything, just like the house fire before this, and the malfunctioning clothes dryer before that. My team is getting pretty sick of duds. We need to find a way to sort the fake AWEs from the realest things. Or you need to rotate these field agents off for a bit. Anyway, we're en route to Sherman Ranch, next one on the list. Let's hope it's a little livelier there. Sincerely, Special Agent Keenan. I guess the guy's bored of just dealing with the mundane. He wants to see something crazy. Oh yeah, they Dr. Carson.
Objects
Dr.
of power
Darling
can cause
video.
or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. A side note, remember to cover their connection to the astral plane as well. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it. Lose and you're, well, fucked. Thank you. I'm Dr. Darling, Head of Research, Federal Bureau of Control.
Fired. A little on the nose. Okay, so the object's form is variable. When bound, the object allows periutility to and basically means to destroy their enemy. Object must only be bound by individuals seeking the role of director. The object will determine whether you are or are not the director. If rejected, the applicant is terminated and boom, you're fucking dead. This process is dictated by the board though their criteria is unknown. The object was discovered inside the oldest house. In the room, this is now used as the director's office. The popular hypothesis, I don't know, many formed throughout history. Mjolnir, Excalibur, Varanastra, all weapons that of their rulers. Objects of power are the convergence of forces based on their collective subconscious may be the original manifestation of that thing. Basically saying that there's different people that influence fictional history and powerful weapons. And that was the dude who was the director before you. Weird whispering sound, I guess it's coming from these freaking bodies.
The hissing sound that tried to invade me earlier. The hiss. Burrowing into everything in this place. Is the hiss your enemy? Alright, it's our enemy. That babbles.
How to handle the unscheduled visitors entering the lobby. Start with the following. Welcome to the Federal Bureau of Control, established in 1964 as part of an effort to straighten government relations. We are proud to serve the United States and their people as we strive for transparency and excellence in all aspects of our esteemed nation's infrastructure. If they do not leave, then ask them these questions. Are you here to see anyone? Are you from New York City or just visiting? How did you find this place? If their answers are sufficiently harmless, explain that this is a secure federal office and that they'll need to leave. If their answers seem suspicious, escort them to a private room. There, perform the gunner's psychological assessment. If their responses are within the acceptable range of deviance, then something immediately. Remember, there's no such thing as too suspicious.
It's contagious. It burrows in like an infuriating melody that makes you hum it over and over.
Urban legends are believed to affect the creation of altered materials, but can also dictate the characteristics of an altered world event. Urban legends are understood as the modern evaluation of Jung's archetypes. We recognize certain archetypes informed by our own subconscious and popularized by our media. We have additionally proven that urban legends can even be artificially manufactured in popular culture using programming. Once the seeds are sown, human imagination exacerbates the details. Certain paranormal phenomena contain clear elements of popularized folklore. AWEs only occur on blank, a pair of scissors that consume human blank through two punctures on the blank. These details living in the minds of so many have been given strength through belief. Urban legends are not just stories for children, they are paranormal realities waiting to happen. Now, when I fill in some of the blank, it's because I've read other parts of files and I know what words are supposed to be there. Other blank to help kind of give a more understanding view of the world that I have now playing through the game once, rather than just a full understanding.
But like these aren't as tortillas.
Oh yeah, and there's music pickups in there. You play certain songs. Sometimes they follow you. Here's where I come from. Straight ahead. So that sound usually there's a little mini and enemy is always a good thing. If too close, you want to take them out first, but if they stay at distance, you can always focus your shots on that one. You want to stay moving. You want to sit more pickups.
Must cleanse control points. An enemy. Spreading.
Cleanse the control point. What
So
does that mean?
this is where you
Help
kind of
me
learn how
fix
to
it.
control things. Push out things.
Holy shit! You did it! We did it!
Can you hear me?
Are you with us? We've been told that we can still use that as long as we maintain that 10-person rule and there's 6-foot distance between us. Easy to do. Except the other day, and I was not there, and I heard this from my neighbor. Karen sat in the parking lot.
Please, talk to
And
me.
once there was over 10 people,
We saw you
she called the
deal
police.
with a
But by the time the police had got there,
compromised
it had
agent.
gone back down to like 4 people on the field and they were playing with their dogs or playing catch with their kids. The police got pissed at Karen.
Is it
They're like, you
safe to
can't
come
call
out?
us for compliance check for something like this. It's not a business. It's an open space. There's more than 6 feet apart from everybody. I have Karen update.
Can't tell you how happy I am to talk to someone sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
This dog just like dead ass picked up a box and just ran with it.
Terrible.
My turn. Should I lie? Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting. I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
Director Faden. Call me Jessie. Okay, Jessie. I'm Emily. Look, somehow this hostile force, this hiss, that works. Somehow the hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot. Trench is dead. Shot. I found his body. And the gun.
Do I tell her if it was suicide?
The service rep. Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the hiss out. The whole room shifted. You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown, before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet.
A janitor let me. I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jessie, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the op I trust her yet. Or rather, the bureau she's a part of.
Yes. I can try.
I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me? We did it before. Push the hiss out. It didn't work. The hiss has burned.
The hiss manifests in human hosts in numerous ways. The most common and least intense form is seen in the many corrupted agents floating throughout the Bureau. Wow. These agents have maintained their human appearance, undergoing no obvious physical transformation. The most notable distinction from an unaffected human is the fact that they levitate. These has displayed no aggressive behavior. They only seem interested in vocalizing the strange incantations ad infinitum, forever. Perhaps these vessels are only meant to propagate the hiss corruption, like spores or Wi-Fi boosters, or are they cocoons preparing to enter the next stage of evolution? When attacked, hiss agents disappear, perhaps entering a state of invisibility, or undergoing a transformation into a purely resonant form. Research is ongoing.
Too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
Here's one of the outfits I was going to show y'all. I'm going to switch back to the regular one until I get my favorite one.
We need to make a plan, Jessie. I can't cleanse them. I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jessie.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it.
Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. A few of us. And Director Trench would know. Trench? The ghost, or whatever he is. He mentioned something called the Hotline. He said I should find it. It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the Hiss. Where is the hotline? It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of his sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you. Okay, that's my next stop. That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. That's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the Hiss destroy it all.
I know this is on. The hotline should be in the communications department. Where did the Hiss come from? I'm not sure. You said the Hiss was here when you entered. Did you see anything like that outside before you came in? No. No, just inside. The source is internal then. See, the oldest house is a sprawling complex with openings to other places as well. I don't even know where to start looking. But in the context, it's good news. The lockdown holds. The Hiss escaping the building would be the end. Pretty shitty world out there if you ask me, but I wouldn't want the Hiss to destroy it.
With you on that, Emily.
You mentioned the oldest house. What is it? This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How did I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't. Which is perfect for us.
The work we do here is essential but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door.
Okay. This trench guy. I keep hearing him in my head. Is he a ghost? Haunting me? I doubt we're talking about a ghost in the traditional sense, but an echo maybe. See, if he was killed by the service weapon, your gun,
What are you doing?
maybe it's his final thoughts recorded by the bullet in his brain, like a deep space probe sending back data. But that's just a hypothesis on my part. I need the gun to research it. But you better hold on to that given the circumstances.
I think I will. Yeah.
All the diapers.
Can you tell me what an object of power is exactly?
Tori.
This is all, well, new to me.
You didn't answer my
Don't
question.
worry, I love going over the
Okay.
basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the pure utilitarian sense. Got it?
Did she memorize this?
One of the most interesting parts of this game is the
Got it.
freaking lore.
Thanks.
All the backstory they got.
So HRA stop you from becoming Hiss.
Alrighty, kids.
It
let's
seems
do
that
this.
way. I mean, I hadn't even heard of an HRA until a few weeks ago when Dr. Darling started handing them out. Well, I began analyzing mine as soon as I got it. And each one seems to emit a powerful short-range frequency way beyond anything I've ever seen.
Doesn't the timing seem suspicious?
I thought that too. Dr. Darling usually likes to unveil his latest breakthrough in big presentations. With these, he just passed them out. Yeah, his behavior makes me wonder what exactly he knew. Thanks.
Conversation points to change
I'm sure
as you
I'll have more
progress through the
questions soon.
story. You'll meet a few
Just let me
different
know.
characters here and there. Ozzy's my favorite though. Gotta love the janitor. Right, so communications department. This way.
There it is again. A welcome message.
That's the Hiss champion forever team. You can look it up online and read the whole thing. It's pretty fucking weird. Anything you feel like I might have not elaborated on, you can always find online. They have an official website and everything with all the information you could hope for, especially when it comes to branching out into Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and also Max Payne even, back to their original game. Visit the following Nevada accommodations: Desert Sun Inn, Big Sky Motel, Starlight Motel, In and Out, Aztec Court, Sleepy Bear Motel, Silver Spurs Ranch, El Gato Blanco Inn, A+ Lodge. These are all of his expenditures, and I wonder if motel called the Ocean View is going to be found in the landlocked state, but hey, I guess I'm not paid to think, right? For the record, I again request that you give us the budget to get 2 rooms each night. Angel Riley and myself are very tired of sleeping in the same room.
Damn it!
See you on the road.
Tony,
What?
help me with it.
Yes, it's overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. With you on that.
Yet you still come back.
Starts killing me. Residence field is physically impediment that is
Don't
difficult
put
to
the
define.
diaper on.
Here's ways to be escaped or accessed by Bureau personnel. Destroy the multiple concentrated residence source areas found in the vicinity. Destroy the hiss entities in the area. The residence field seem to require support for their size and density from their non-connected source of hiss resonance. Without the ability to draw from these sources, the barrier will fail. Does an inactive structure made of hiss resonance qualify as a conscious being? Does the distinction make any difference in considering the hiss? What does the very act of building walls to prevent our movement tell us about the hiss? To what degree is it watching and planning? So it's louder in some places than others. Sometimes some of the people speaking, I just struggle to say it because they all very creepy. Due to recent fluctuations in the nearest control point, this area's stability has been downgraded to yellow. Green stable, yellow low possibility of unanticipated building shifts, orange high likelihood of unanticipated building shifts, red frequent unanticipated building shifts. Sounds like a great place to work. Dead letter. Sorry for my reaction. I forgot a lot of this creepy this game was. Machine God. While penning any notification of death related to the Willow AWE, please adhere. Oh yeah, okay, so it's just another. Oh, okay.
Stop being such a dick.
What happened?
Morty's jumping all over me.
Crazy bastard.
Told him to stop being such a dick. He looked at me.
Crazy people writing in basically, but they monitor it to make sure it's not a true AWE happening in the real world, I guess. I had a dream and I built the thing I saw in my dream, a machine that will contain God, but not the gods you know or the ones anyone knows, a new God. This machine will be his body, his heart, and his mind. I made it just like the dream showed me. I used the motor from the refrigerator and the coils for my toaster and the fans plus the timing belt for my car's engine and the wheel for my son's skateboard. God can't be moved yet. But the dream said he would learn how on his own. This is just a beginner's body like a baby's, but a machine instead. God only needs a place to start. If you want to interview me, please contact me at the address on the envelope. My phone does not work anymore. I had to use the dialing plate on God.
No, ma'am.
Do you have her in a pamper?
No, she didn't let me.
No, you gave up.
You wouldn't help me. Plus, it seemed too small on her. She's that fat. She's that fat. She doesn't fit into a newborn diaper. Let's try one. Bitch.
see that the AI is definitively intelligent. Let's check the area a little bit.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched 3 pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
I'm not gonna mention it here, but you will see a kind of disparity soon.
Communications. We're on the right track.
There's a surviving person, and now he's dead.
An object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it. It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in Bureau Seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
launching pencils and cups. She's launching heavy amounts of oil. Recharge.
There you are. You were gone.
Must be contained in the cell with no other loose material. The object is an 8-inch diskette containing Soviet-era nuclear launch codes. When bound, the object allows para-utilitarians to telekinetically lift materials and throw them in short distance. The object is currently bound to Jesse Faden. Stolen. Well, you heard the backstory, right?
Cut off. I got it.
Some fucking shit.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached.
Are you gonna have mashed potatoes, or do you want to just get potatoes?
Potatoes.
Through the mailroom.
Alright, so that's it for this playthrough, guys. I'll see you on part 2.